Welcome back, everybody, to Santa Fe Fashion's YouTube channel. If we haven't met before, I'm Stephen Cuomo, executive producer of Santa Fe Fashion Week. And here we are, another Scene Studies Friday. So I'm going to go around the room and we'll introduce everybody and we'll jump right in. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Michael Thomas Angel here. I'm going to be doing something from Interview with a Vampire.
Fantastic.
Don Novak could have like the second scene from Code Agent 9.
I didn't do any. I didn't bring any. I'm sorry. I'm Austin Ruth though.
That's fine.
I'm Vanessa, and I am a jack of all trades, master of none.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us. Our fearless leader. Go ahead.
David Biagini, writer, musician, filmmaker, and we'll do some scenes from Celestina if we have the right cast.
Fantastic. And then you just recently scored, did some scoring.
Did a theme for
Don,
Don's Code Agent 9.
Fantastic. And we've been working on that, right? That's the scene. That's
Yeah.
we've been working on. Very cool. Well, and that's what's nice is we can all kind of collaborate here. And Akash.
Hi, my name is Akash and I'm an actor.
Actor, cool. And you've had some training in the past?
I did the beginner's level of acting from California.
Very nice. Well, thanks for joining our group again. Cool. So, Don, you brought a script today. Can you tell us a little bit about this scene?
Yeah, so this is a scene where Code Agent 9 or Jake, his past catches up with him, and these the boss man is a guy that was funded 9/11, and one of back in the day Jake's orders was to go terminate this guy, but they missed and they killed his family instead. And this boss man has been looking for Jake forever, and he's kind of bribed the CIA agent, he believes, Agent Sarah. So now they found him, they see him for the first time, and this is them seeing him for the first time and what they're planning to do.
And this is set up in a car.
Yes.
Cool. So, let's do a cold read first.
Boss, it's that guy.
Yes, it is.
You want to shoot him.
Not yet.
Boss, you looked for him for years. He's right there. I shoot him now.
Christ, Vlad. Do you think with anything other than your gun?
I shoot you now instead.
I'll take your gun and ram it.
Boys, knock it off. Our target is out there. We need to follow him and see where he goes. And we aren't just going to shoot him. He killed my wife and kids. We are going to beat with a hammer, burn him with a torch, rip his lips off. I want him to know it was me, and he suffers to his last breath. Now let's go.
Cool. Very good. So, any thoughts there, Don?
Yeah, it's, I think if you saw it, you know, it's like he's like sees him and it just brings all the emotion back, right? And he, you know, and I wanted it to be really obscure, like these things he wanted to do, like, you know, beat him with a hammer and burn him with the torch and rip his lips off. That's an old thing from a Raiders football guy, so I took that. But
Vladimir, is he just basically no nonsense killer
he
guy?
just wants to kill.
And then what about Peter?
He's kind of, he's a better soldier. He'll, you know, do as he's told. And
Is he more sensitive than my character? He jokes around more, right?
well, I would say he's more like calculating. You're more like straightforward. You're
Okay,
just gonna
gotcha.
kill. He's like, I would say Peter. Just think like he's like, yes, beat him with a hammer. I'll torch
Yes.
his ass.
Thank
I
you.
will rip his lips.
So,
So we have to say beat him with a hammer?
Mhm.
Okay. Alright.
What's your opinion of that though?
Like angerness and frustration.
Yeah, I would just say like, beat him with a hammer and
Oh,
burn
okay.
him with
So
the
be a
torch.
lot more animated.
Yeah, yeah,
You're finally going to get to the,
yeah. You're finally
the guy that killed your family, and you're going to make him
because
suffer.
this is
I mean,
like
that's the
Yeah.
mood you need to get into right now. Is that you got the guy in front of you who killed your family, and you're going to take pleasure, and you're going to get your revenge. You just this is the time.
And it sounds like my character wants to kill him now, and he's showing more patience.
Yeah,
Patient,
he's
I got
like, yes.
I'm like,
let's-
you just can't use your gun for everything. You can't
Yeah.
just kill him like right now.
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
So let's want to try it again then. And settle in. And action.
Boss, it's that guy.
Yes, it is.
You want to shoot him.
Not yet.
Boss, you looked for him for years. He's right there. I shoot him now.
Christ, Vlad, control yourself. You think with anything other than your gun?
I shoot you now instead.
I'll take your gun and ram it.
Boys, knock it off. Our target is out there. We need to follow him and see where he goes. And we aren't just going to shoot him. He killed my wife and kids. He killed my wife and kids. We are going to beat him with a hammer and burn him with a torch, rip his lips off. And I want him to know it was me who suffered. He suffers to his last breath. Now, let's go.
Very good. So let's do this. So I'm gonna switch out before you get notes here. So I think Vanessa may be a good boss. So Akash and Vanessa switch out.
Vanessa. Bam!
So Vanessa, can you
You're
take
a
that
boss,
spot there?
girl.
So you two just switch out real quick. We're gonna stand just
I
a
think
little
that'd be
bit.
crazy to have a
And
female
then
boss.
Austin, if you do me a favor, tilt the little bit.
There are
No,
female,
you're fine.
hey,
You're
there are
fine.
female cartel
Oh,
bosses.
But I want to be able to see
yeah.
Vanessa
Mexico.
back there. So just so
You want me to move?
no, you guys are fine. Just maybe just a little bit your shoulders, kind of like.
Sorry, I went to
No, you're
chest
fine.
and shoulders.
No, you're fine.
Oh, sure, you got some.
Yeah,
huge,
I feel huge today.
And then Vanessa, move your chair just as if it was a backseat mode. Just see what that looks like. Like you're in a car. Yeah, that looks great. All right, cool. That's pretty good.
And that one line, if it's up to you if you want to say wife or husband or whatever.
Yeah, just change it. Yeah, sounds great. So we
And I think the scene where he says he's going to stick the gun, the boss has to cut in, right?
Yeah, Susie's like, you're.
Maybe no,
when he
no.
says, I'm gonna shove.
Take
Yeah,
your gun and right.
like when he says, I'm gonna take your gun and ram it, you have to like cut them off.
And then we'll go to ECC.
Yeah,
Boys.
no pause there.
cool. We'll settle in, everybody. And action.
Boss, it's that guy.
Yes, it is.
You want, I shoot him.
Not yet.
Boss, you looked for him for years. He's right there. I shoot him now.
Christ, Vlad, control yourself. You think with anything other than your gun?
I shoot you now instead.
I'll take your gun and ram it.
Boys, knock it off. Our target is out there. We need to follow him and see where he goes. And we aren't just gonna shoot him. He killed my husband and kids, and we're gonna beat him with a hammer, burn him with a torch, rip his lips off. I want him to know it's me as he suffers to his last breath. Now let's go.
Cool. So just a couple of notes from my end, and then I'll let you Don take over. So Vanessa, if you can point this way, like
Okay.
just so that's fine. No, that's
Like out
fine.
that window.
No, just so I can see your hand, and then also talk with your hand a little bit more. Like
Okay.
you're mad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
was
a
just
little
trying
bit
to
more.
get
Yeah, you're
the-
fine. Just some notes. That's all.
text here. Okay,
Can
perfect.
I know where you're looking so I can be like, so we're
I'm
not,
just-
so I'm not
I'm
looking
just
over
kinda-
here at this dude.
Well, if he's
and you're
driving-
like, that's that dude.
Right?
Hey,
He's driving by, so
I'll
that's
be
when
the
I point.
stand-in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm going to
So
point
this is-
because
I'm Jake.
All right, cool.
he
That
drives
guy.
by us, so I'm like watching him
You
drive this
that
with
guy.
boss, you know.
Just imagine I'm like 100 feet away.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, cool. And action.
Boss, it's that guy.
Yes, it is.
You want, I shoot him.
Not yet.
Boss, you looked for him for years. He's right there. I shoot him now.
Christ, Vlad, do you think with anything other than your gun?
I shoot you now instead.
I'll take your gun and ram it.
Boys, knock it off. Our target is out there. We need to follow him and see where he goes. And we aren't just gonna shoot him. He killed my husband and my kids. We're gonna beat him with a hammer, burn him with a torch, and rip his lips off. I want him to know it was me as he suffers his last breath. Now let's go.
Yeah, that was really good.
Don, if we go back over there and give us some notes if you don't want. We'll do it one more time with the three of you, and we'll switch up a little bit. And then, rather than Don getting up, I'll just be the bad guy. I'll just stand off to the side here a little bit. So you can look off camera. So go ahead, Don. What any thoughts?
No, I mean, you guys did it well. It's like, you're just kill. I'm gonna kill. You're like, I'm waiting for the bad stuff. So chill, Vlad, chill. Let's wait. And then you have to have the passion, right? I think you have really good passion, yeah. And I would just think maybe even pause, like you think I'm gonna beat him with a hammer, burn him with the torch, and rip his lips off. And if I don't know if you want to improv something you'd want like tear his balls off. I don't know.
Tear his testicles off.
So, and should there be more pause, or is it rapid fire? Like, I want to do this, I want to do this.
Try with more pause.
Yeah, because when I envisioned it, he would
Shove him down his mouth.
the memory comes
Shove him up his
back,
ass.
right, and the emotion comes back, and you feel the anger at the same time. And these are like just no, we're gonna beat it with a hammer.
So
Burn him with the
And-
torch.
Am I too angry, or is that okay? Am I okay? Is it too angry?
No, I think you're just like you see him, and you're
I'm ready to go.
like what you do. Is I
Action.
kill people.
Yeah, that's what you play
Let's
with.
kill him.
So at the end,
Jeez, it's like that James Bond thing. Why don't we just kill him? Don't put him on the conveyor belt or
Gotcha.
have the slow
Yeah, I remember
laser.
that. I remember that scene.
Or, it's better in Austin
Dave, you
Powers
got
kind of
some
thing.
That was Guillermo del Toro that did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave, you got some thoughts?
just at
License to kill.
at the end, the two goons in the front, are they surprised by his violent? I mean, how cruel he's going to be, or are they used to him being that way?
I think the line of business they're in, they're just like, okay.
Business as usual.
And maybe yours is like, you're like, maybe like, oh, yeah, shit, yeah.
So the part where she's explaining, I'm kind of looking back. Is that okay? Or do you want me to keep looking?
No, I think you guys are stone cold.
Stone Cold got you.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Do you think we should look at each other when she's all, now let's go? And then me and him look at each other like, yeah.
Yeah, there's still some tension between you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So it's still
And
some.
you're like, I think the look to me is like, hey, later, we're going to resolve this between us,
Okay.
kind of thing. Because I think it's
After
like,
we have cheesecake.
yeah, cheesecake and tea or something, yeah. But I think it's like
Gonna poison the
you,
cheesecake though.
like the boss is
I would do
went and like Vlad is her guy, and then she got you as a specialized bad guy. So you really don't know each other. You're not like, so you're just like a hired.
He's
guy.
trigger happy, and I'm like, no, it's
Yeah.
not just shoot, kill right now.
Yeah.
It's plan it out.
Yeah,
Let's do it one more time.
You can appreciate what she's going to do,
yeah.
where it's lost.
I don't know if you can imagine like somebody that just gets off on killing people, and just likes to torture. Because Jake is a guy that was ordered to do it,
Right.
but his essence is he's basically a good person that had to do bad things. And, and Boss is like suffering worse than being killed himself or herself, and he's taking revenge for his family.
Cool. So let's do it one more time then. And so on. And action.
Boss, it's that guy.
Yes, it is.
You want, I shoot him.
Not yet.
Boss, you looked for him for years. He's right there. I shoot him now.
Christ, Vlad. Control yourself. You think. No, sorry. Christ, Vlad. Control yourself. You think with anything other than your gun?
I shoot you now instead.
I'll take your gun and ram it.
Boys, knock it off. Our target is out there, and we need to follow him. We're not just gonna shoot and kill him. He killed my husband and my kids. We're gonna beat him with a hammer, burn him with a torch, and rip his lips off. I want him to know it was me as he suffers his last breath.
Boss, is that the guy
Yes, it is.
you want? I shoot him now.
Not yet.
Boss, you look for him for years. He's right there. I shoot him now.
Christ, Willard, control yourself. Do you think with anything other than your gun? I shoot you instead.
I shoot you now.
Yeah, that's his line. Okay, and
Oh, let's read through it.
Yeah,
See if we
yeah,
screwed
let's
it
take
up.
it. Let's take it from top.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll just do it. I write this stuff. I don't remember.
Alright.
Boss, is that the guy?
Yes, it is.
You want? I shoot him now.
Not yet.
Boss, you've looked for him for years. He's right there. I shoot him now.
Christ, Willard, control yourself. Do you think with anything other than your gun?
I shoot you
I
now
sh-
instead. This is my line.
I'll take your gun and ram it.
Boys, knock it off. Our target is out there. We need to follow him and see where he goes. And we aren't just going to shoot him. He killed my wife and kids. We're going to beat him with a hammer, burn him with a torch, rip his lips off. I want to know it was me as he suffers to his last breath. Now let's go. Go. And notes, David.
That was a cold read, kind of.
It was a cold read.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
A little something. So we'll do it. Any other
I
notes?
think,
before we,
the
I don't
first
know.
time through, you sounded like Arnold Schwarzenegger. That was pretty cool.
I like trying to get it. Have you ever took dialect?
okay.
Have you ever took
I'll be
dialect?
back.
Have you ever took dialect classes? Like the Russian, to get a Russian kind of accent.
Yeah, some dialect class.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with that, boys.
All right, so let's.
I'll be back.
I'll be back.
So, Vanessa, call action.
All right, guys, we're ready to go. And action.
Boss, is that the guy?
Yes, it is.
You want? I shoot him now.
Not yet.
Boss, you've looked for him for years. He's right there. I shoot him now.
Christ, Willard, control yourself. Do you think with anything other than your gun?
I shoot you right now.
I'll take your gun and ram it.
Boys, knock it off. Our target is out there. We need to follow him and see where he's going. And we aren't just going to shoot him. He killed my wife and kids. We're going to beat him with a hammer, burn him with a torch, and rip his lips off. I want to know it was me as he suffers to the last breath. Now let's go. Thanks, You're like the maestro.
I like it.
Any thoughts, David? That you're watching from afar?
Rip his nuts off.
It's better. I think maybe if you play the boss with not really restraint, but you know you're angry, but you're still kind of like
Okay.
being controlled because you're the boss,
Okay.
but you're angry,
Okay.
right? And when you say it, you've got to be saying it in such a way that
Okay.
it makes the audience shiver because it's so cold
Oh, okay.
hearted and just cruel, and it's clear
Oh,
that
all right.
you know nothing's going to stop you from hurting this guy and making him suffer to the very last, right?
Mhm.
And so, but at the same time, you're the boss. You
Okay.
maintain that control. So that's that balance between you know I'm going to being really mean, but not out of control mean, but mean in a really cold, chilling
kind of like the
type of
Godfather.
way.
Kind of like the
That's
Godfather.
gonna say Godfather.
Never seen.
Yeah, kind of like Godfather.
You need to.
Never
It's a
seen.
classic.
Oh man,
Never
Let's
seen
do it.
Godfather.
So let's do it again. All right, so,
classics up here.
All right, cool. And quiet. On set. Vanessa.
On set, ready, and action.
Boss, is that the guy?
Yes, it is.
You want? I shoot him now.
Not yet.
Boss, you've looked for him for years. He's right there. I shoot him now.
Christ, Willard, control yourself. Do you think with anything other than your gun?
I shoot you now.
I'll take your gun and ram it.
Boys, knock it off. Our target is out there. We need to follow him and see where he goes. And we aren't just going to shoot him. He killed my wife and kids. We're going to beat him with a hammer, burn him with a torch, rip his lips off. I want to know it was me as he suffers to his last breath. Now let's go. Back to David. David, was that
That's better,
okay?
and you know, but be a little more when you say to his last breath, that line, be more chilling. I mean, it's like, I think the effect there would be you want the audience to just like really at this point like, oh my God, I never want to meet this guy because he's he's going to do what he wants to do, and if I ever cross this guy, this is what's going to happen to me. So you're really close on getting to that point where it's just that it's not Silence of the Lambs type of thing, but close. But it's still
his liver with
it's like when you say rip off his lips, you're getting really close to that where he would be saying that, because ripping off his lips, that's not something you would normally hear.
But I can almost I can visualize like what.
But you can, so visualize that you're actually doing that to this guy, right? As you say it, because that's what you really mean. Because you're seeing it happen as you're saying it, because you're going to do it, right?
Yeah.
And
So we'll do it one more time and then we'll break into Tom. Tom, you got something?
Sure. Let's do that.
All right, so we'll do that. So whenever you're ready, Vanessa.
All right, on scene, ready, and action.
Boss, is that the guy?
Yes, it is.
You want? I shoot him now.
Not yet.
Boss, you've looked for him for years. He's right there. I shoot him now.
Crash Fillet. Control yourself. Do you think with anything other than your gun?
I shoot you now.
I'll take your gun and ram it.
Boys, knock it off. Our target is out there. We need to follow him and see where he goes. And we aren't just going to shoot him. He killed my wife and my kids. We're going to beat him with a hammer. Burn him with a torch. Rip his lips off. I want to know it was me as he suffers to his last breath. Now let's go.
yeah,
Cool. All right, let's
Now that was believable.
yeah,
I believed him that
I
time.
felt my lip coming up.
Yes, that was good. And you didn't.
So Tom, what'd you bring today?
I brought a scene from Interview with a Vampire where Louis meets Iman and he's been searching for an immortal and he finally found one.
Fantastic. So, and you want to enter from, we don't have to go all the way outside, but let's take it from right about.
You know what? I think I'll just start the scene talking, but then I leave at the end.
Oh,
of
you
the scene.
leave. Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right, you guys ready? So, and
I searched the world.
Wait,
Oh,
listen.
and action.
Yeah.
And action.
I searched the world over for a mortal. This is what I find.
Bring.
How?
Let me. I gotta say my line.
No.
Yeah, let me do my line. Okay, good. Let's go back.
Take one talk.
Okay, when I give you the card, then I'll talk. I'm gonna give you the card first. Okay.
Akash, come in just a little bit more, please.
And I'll use this hand instead. 'Cause
Settle in. And action.
I searched the world for over a mortal, and this is what I find.
Bring the petite beauty with you. No one will harm you. I won't allow it. And remember my name. Ahmad.
How can I trust your words are true?
Well, you can read minds, can you?
And action.
I searched the world for a mortal, and this is what I find.
Bring the petite beauty with you. No one will harm you. I won't allow it. And remember my name. Ahmad.
How can I trust your words?
Well, you can read minds, can't you?
Thoughts on that?
yeah. I think Louis' character maybe a little more disgust, right, or and disappointment, right, because you were expecting something better or different in your mind, and what you got is a disappointment. So that really needs to come through And it's seeing that's kind of why you stop is because you recognize that
He really doesn't believe in me either.
no. So it's just been a little more of that,
Disgust.
Yeah.
You were expecting me, and you got him.
Disappointment.
Okay.
Yeah, disappointment.
Well, before in the scene, there's another vampire there, but I didn't put him in because it's 3 people, and he was jacking around with him, and that's why he's all mad. But I didn't put that in because it's too much.
David, so let's
It's too long of a scene.
So I'm sorry.
Oh, is this Cruz and like in the?
No, this is Antonio Banderas and Brad Pitt.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So Tom, let's start you right back there again.
Start at 1.
Yeah, start at 1, and then cool, and action.
I searched the world over for a mortal, and this is what I find.
Bring the petite beauty with you. No one will harm you. I won't allow it. And remember my name. Oman.
How can I trust your words?
Well, you can read minds, can't you?
All right. Any thoughts on that one?
Much better.
Better is good. So let's switch it up. Let's have Vanessa take Akash's spot.
Vampirus!
Okay, so let's step in there.
Vampire.
You can be Sophia from Underworld. No, I'm just kidding. Who are you gonna play?
I don't know this movie.
So she'll play the part Akash was playing.
Okay.
All right. So Tom, I want you to
So
start the
he's which
scene.
one?
You are.
Oh, the orange.
You're Louis. Louis. Brad Pitt.
Louise.
Brad Pitt.
So Tom, go back there because you're almost out of frame. So just go that way, just a little. There you go. All right, and action.
I searched the world for an immortal, and this is what I find.
Bring the petite beauty with you. No one will harm you. I won't allow it. And remember my name. Oman.
How can I trust your words are true?
Well, you can read minds, can't you?
All right,
The timing of that last thing was perfect.
That was good.
that's good.
I felt that.
Yeah. So any thoughts there?
Your eye contact was so good. I love that. It gave me goosebumps when I left the door. That was like crazy.
I was like laughing because I was like, he left the
You have
whole
a
door.
comment?
Like,
Yeah.
you went,
What's
followed
that?
all the way
Does
to
it sound
the
In the
end.
back, in the
I have a
back.
thought.
Oh yeah.
Do you think she should be like, I've traveled the whole world for
Yeah, yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
this
good.
is what I found.
Yeah, that's a good
You know what I
idea.
mean? Like, kind of like, come on, this is ridiculous. But at this point, it's kind of like,
She could chuckle, yeah, like, you're full of shit.
you're full of shit.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
she gets the card and she's like,
Yeah, a little more stuff. No, that's good. That's good enough.
Oh,
All right, so let's take it from the top.
and that has info on it. You said for an address or something. I'm supposed
Yeah, you just kind of glance at
And
it.
then Tom, go back that way just a little bit. Just a little bit more. I got the camera kind of tight. And action.
I searched the world for an immortal, and this is the best I find.
Bring the petite beauty with you. No one will harm you. I won't allow it. And remember my name. Oman.
How can I trust your words are true?
Well, you can read minds, can't you?
Nice. David.
I think it's the timing on the last
The last scene.
scene where let him turn away a little bit more
Okay.
and then say, well, how can I believe you?
Okay, so I've kind
But
of.
the first time you did it, the timing was perfect because
Okay.
he started to turn away and then you said, how can I believe you? And that stops
So
him in his
it's too
tracks and he
fast.
comes
Okay.
yeah, back. So
You want to do it again,
Yeah,
or?
take it from the top. Yeah, we'll do it again. And then we'll switch it up a little bit. And top back to this way now. A little bit. There you go. And action.
I searched the world over for an immortal, and this is the best I find.
Bring the petite beauty with you. No one will harm you. I won't allow it. And remember my name. Ama.
How can I trust your words are true?
Well, you can't read minds, can't you?
And action.
Search the world for a mortal. This is what I find.
Bring the petite beauty with you. No one will harm you. I won't allow it. And remember my name. Ama.
And how can I trust the words are true?
Well, you can't read minds, can't you?
Hi, David.
maybe a little bit louder and then maybe change, because when you find out his name, right, that's kind of you get a reaction. So the way you say the last lines may be different than the way you say the first lines, because the first lines you don't know who he is, you don't know his name.
Yeah.
You know, but then when you find it and you're questioning how to believe him, you use different volume, different tone, something to differentiate that you've had a change, right?
Yeah.
Once he tells you his name, you've changed. Your perception of the entire environment of the scene has changed.
Okay, so it's like
So it's at that point, at the first point, the first half of the scene, you're like
Who is this?
disappointed, disgusted, you're like, who is this, whatever. And then when he tells your name, suddenly then, that's a beat. This is sort of the second half, and it's like, okay, is this guy really who he says he is? Because if he is, that changes everything, right? So,
okay, so I see where you're coming from. So from the beginning, it's kind of like, oh, who's this dude? And then it's like, oh, wait.
Yeah,
How can I
no.
trust your words are true? Like,
yeah. So
okay.
now it's like,
So it's
you
more
know,
like I'm asking for help now at this point.
It's not so much help, but it's like, if he is who he says he is, then that's significant.
I've solved all your problems.
Up to that
If
point,
I am
because
who
up
I
to
say.
that point, you're talking with disappointment, disgust. It's like, this is what I get, and then he tells you his name, and you start that's a change, and it's like, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't have been disappointed, but is this guy really who he says he is? And if he is, then okay, that's different. Then I'm no longer disappointed.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
All right, so let's take from the top. Action.
Search the world for immortal. This is the best I find.
Bring the petite beauty with you. No one will harm you. I won't allow it. And remember my name. Ama.
How can I trust your words are true?
Well, can read minds, can't you?
Yeah, that
I
was,
thought it was pretty strong.
yeah, there's definitely a change in your
Yeah.
your approach
I've been
from that, and I think, I don't know, to me that worked a little bit better. I don't know if the rest of you.
Cool. I thought it was,
How do you think that went?
It was good.
I thought it was good.
Because you play him somewhat innocent. Louis is very innocent. He's like a vampire that always tries to do the right thing but gets fucked over all the time. But he's a good guy. You're perfect for that.
What's the significance of the card?
Well, on the card is the address because what Amon does, he runs a theater company with all these vampires work at. And there's vampires that are pretending to be human that are vampires. And so that's why he says, come watch my show. And that's where he meets the other one. So, and there's an address where the performance is at.
Action.
I searched the world for an immortal, and this is what I find.
Bring the petite beauty with you. No one will harm you. I won't allow it. And remember my name. Amon.
How do I know your words are true?
Well, you can't read minds, can't you?
That's good. You got that change
Yeah, I saw
in your
that.
outlook
Yeah.
when you hear his name. So I think that's, but from Louis' role, lines or his part in the scene. That's the important part for him, right? Is that's the moment when he realizes what's really going on. So that's a key moment for him in this scene.
And action.
I searched the world for an immortal, and this is what I find.
Bring the petite beauty with you. No one will harm you. I won't allow it. And remember my name. Amon.
How can I trust your words are true?
Well, you can read minds, can't you?
I searched the world for an immortal. And this is what I find.
Bring the petite beauty with you. No one will harm you. I won't allow it. And remember my name. Amon.
How can I trust your words are true?
Well, you can read minds, can't you?
Action.
I searched the world over for immortal, and that is what I find.
Bring the petite beauty with you. No one will harm you. I won't allow it. And remember my name. Amon.
How can I trust your words are true?
Well, you can read minds, can't you?
All right, David, what are your thoughts?
Good. I would.
I stumbled
Even-
a bit, I think.
Yeah, it's just like the only the second time that you're reading the line.
Yeah.
So,
Fair enough.
but maybe leaving a little more sarcasm in the
Okay.
beginning, like search the world over, and this is what I find.
Okay.
You know, that kind of thing. And then when he says, Armand, then you have to physically, you almost physically have a reaction like, oh,
Cool.
I
Because he
didn't know
puts
I
the
should
connection
know.
between Amon created Lestat created you.
Yeah,
So it's
so it's like,
Yeah, because I think like that was the context I was missing, for example. So I was kind of like still questioning, but now that you guys filled in those gaps, and it's like, you recognize who he is.
Mhm.
It's not so much that attitude as it is, you know, like we were saying earlier. Now it's shifted because you now know who he is, and it's kind of.
Oh, I got you. All right, cool. Let's take one top then. Let us know when you're ready, Vanessa.
And action.
I searched the world over for an immortal, and this is what I find.
You found the fuck up. You fucked up. That's what you find. Stupid idiot.
Oh.
You got the
Let's see if I can still pin
yourself.
down. Let's see if I can still pin down.
Ninja style.
That was a bad handoff.
I got back up.
Okay. Set. Ready. Action.
Are you on? Is it high enough? Is it
Yeah.
on? Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Call it again. I'm sorry. A second
He's
guess.
questioning the director. No, I'm just kidding.
The camera lady.
The camera lady. Okay. Ready. Action.
I searched the world for an immortal, and this is what I find.
Bring the petite beauty with you. No one will harm you. I won't allow it. And remember my name. Armand.
How can I trust your words are true?
Well, you can read minds, can't you?
David?
yeah, what popped in my mind is what happens here is an uncle, rest their soul,
Mm.
Italian American, and he spoke Italian. They're in an Italian restaurant in Italy, and the waiters are joking about this fat guy, fat American, whatever.
Mhm.
And so they come over to this table, and he speaks to them in Italian, says, chews them out in Italian, and it's like, oh my God, we didn't know he spoke, this is Italian, right? So that's kind of similar. What goes on here is like, well, you didn't know this was Armand, so it's that kind of,
That kind of banter.
it's kind of realization that
Right.
we didn't think this guy could possibly understand what we were saying, but my God, he did, and so that realization that this wasn't
Right.
what we thought. Same thing here, right? You think you're just talking to some joker. I mean,
Right.
not the joker, but a joker,
Right.
And it's like, who is this guy? And then you find out who he really is, and that realization is such like, oh,
That makes
that
sense.
same kind of, if I was good at acting
Mhm.
role, I'd go back to my past and I'd think about that scene,
Oh, okay.
and that's what I have in my mind as I'm trying to reproduce here is like, oh, that's the kind of reaction that I would have was like, I didn't know who I was talking to,
Oh, well.
right? Or it's like you have the reputation of, of somebody, important or whatever, but you never met them, and so you meet them and you say this thing, and then you find out who it really is, and it's like, oh, right?
That makes sense. Cool. Well, with that said, that's a wrap, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much.